So today we're going to look at 10 classical female variations for dancers who like turning. I'm going to put them in order so that the first one will be a more moderate amount of turns, and by the 10th we'll finish with the variation I feel has the most amount of turns. And then at the end I'm going to include a few extra variations that didn't make the cut but that you might still want to consider. Starting off with Khichri Act 3. This is a lovely variation. It's very classical, elegant. It has some beautiful arabesques, some extensions à la seconde, some grand jetés, arabesque, and quite a lot of relevés and échappés. So for the turns, it mainly includes attitude arabesques, piqués, en dedans and en dehors, and chaînés. In terms of choreography, I feel like this one isn't too difficult. The beginning is quite repetitive and there's nothing terribly complicated in it. I love this variation. It really has flair and energy, and it has just this real feel-good quality too. For variation number 2, I've chosen Esmeralda. Again, such a fun variation. If you enjoy acting or the sort of performance quality, this is a great one. For the turns, it includes piqués, pirouettes en dehors, lame ducks, and you've got turns en fondu. A lot of these you do going around the room, so in a manège. And then the choreography also has a lot of échappés, extensions to the side, arabesque, and then a lot of relevés, especially playing with the tambourine, playing with the prop, so you need to have a strong balance on point here. It's a really fun variation, it's energetic, it's playful, and you get to use a prop. For our third variation, I've picked Aurora from Act 1. Now, I was unsure where to place this variation because even though it's not packed with pirouettes, I still feel there's a strong focus on the pirouettes en dehors. They have to be strong. And there's also the opportunity to add multiple turns because there are a few of them. So your first one could be a double, you could build up to a triple, and so on. You've also got 2 manèges around the room, so you're going around the studio or the stage twice. The first time is with coupé jeté en tournant, which strictly speaking is a jump, not a turn. But then the second time you've got your piqués, soutenus and chaînés. This is such a beautiful variation. It is elegant and delicate and would really suit a dancer who's not only strong with their turns but has a beautiful port de bras and is looking for a very feminine solo. For number 4 we have Gamzati. I love Gamzati. I feel like this variation really suits dancers who are strong with grand allegro, but it also can suit quite tall dancers or dancers with good extensions, because you've got some nice big jumps in there, some nice big extensions, and it really uses the space so you can really travel. It's also quite a powerful variation, so you need to bring like an element of strength to it. For the turns, we've got a few different turns in here. You've got some pirouettes in attitude en dedans. You've also got a tombé into a pirouette, a normal pirouette en dedans. And then you've got a diagonal of piqués, soutenus and chaînés. So overall, a very strong, powerful solo that would be good for dancers who not only enjoy en dedans turns and a nice diagonal of piqués, soutenus and chaînés, but also a dancer with strong grand allegro and extensions. For number 5, I've chosen Lisa's variation from La Femelle Gardée. So I actually struggled figuring out where to put this one in the list because for the first 2/3 of the variation there aren't actually any turns. The turns happen in the last third, but they are frettes, and they're a series of frettes, and then it goes into frette en dehors and frette en dedans, alternating. And I just felt like this was quite a big commitment to turns. They are quite difficult for most people, but that could just be me and how personally I feel towards frettes on point. Having said that, I do feel like going from a frette en dehors into en dedans feels much easier. It gives that supporting leg a little break. So that's maybe a silver lining to this variation. It is such a beautiful variation, but it requires a very well-rounded dancer. You've got grand allegro, petit allegro, you've got extensions, you've got beautiful port de bras, you need artistry for the storytelling. Everything is sort of very neat and precise. And then of course you've got fouettes, and it's quite long solo as well. So I feel like if you're able to do this variation well, it looks even more impressive because everyone knows how hard it is. For number 6, I've chosen the Flames of Paris variation. And again, the reason why I've put this at number 6, even though I feel like there's probably a similar amount of turns to say Gamzati, it is a shorter variation, so I feel like those turns take up more of the solo. But you've just got pirouettes en dehors, you've got lame ducks, and then it finishes with fouettes. Fewer fouettes to la female gardée, but fouettes nonetheless. And again, I just feel like it feels punchier to have fouettes at the end of a variation, so that's why I put it at number 6. If you're able to do this variation well, it looks even more impressive because everyone knows how hard it is. For variation number 7, I've chosen Kitri Act 1. I love this variation. It is so fun and energetic and playful. You've got pirouettes en dedans, and then of course you've got that long diagonal of pirouettes en dehors from 5th. It's a very short variation, so like the majority of the solo is turns. But of course you've got those famous extensions to 2nd, and you've got your C-zones with the back leg in attitude. So I would only recommend this solo if you know you've got really nice extensions a la seconde, and if you know you've got a really nice C-zone, just because as an audience those are such like key moments, those are famous moments that we're looking out for, and we're kind of expecting certain lines. And so yeah, I would only recommend this one if you know that you can deliver on those extensions, on the height of your jumps, and of course if your turns are strong. Moving on to number 8, I've chosen the 3rd odalisque from the Corsair. So kind of similar to Kitri Act 1, it's a very short variation. The majority is taken up with turns, but this time it's mainly turns, pirouettes from 4th position en dehors, so you've got that long diagonal. A lot of dancers don't feel that intimidated by pirouettes en dehors, maybe because we do them all the time in class, but they are kind of in the spotlight and you have a series of them. So I would definitely say they need to be very strong because you're doing one after the other after the other. Then you've got some lame ducks, and of course it helps if you've got some lovely extensions too. For number 9, I've chosen the Diana and Acton variation. There are lots of different turns in here. You've got attitude, arabesque, you've got tour à la seconde that comes into a fouette en dedans. You've also got développé piqué en tournants, and you've got a diagonal of lame ducks. So lots of different types of turns. And this variation also requires a dancer with nice extensions too. I would say that this is also quite a difficult variation, so it looks even more impressive when it's done well. And as an added bonus, similar to Esmeralda, you get to use a prop. And finally, for number 10, I've chosen Odile's variation. So this would suit a really well-rounded dancer. There is a lot in this variation, and because it's so famous and notoriously difficult, you really need to deliver on the artistry, on the gorgeous port de bras, on the turns, on the extensions. There's a lot. Looking at the turns, we have a soutenu into an attitude arabesque en dehors. We also have an attitude turn en dedans. You've got a lot of lame ducks, you've got a manège, and then you have a diagonal of soutenus, piqués, and lame ducks. So you might be thinking, oh, some of the other variations had a few more turns in them. And the reason why I've put Odile as number 10 is because you have the option to also do the coda. Perhaps not if you're choosing this for a competition, you'll just be picking one variation. But if you're doing, say, a gala, and you have the option to do the variation and then the coda with the 32 fouettes, that would be a really nice combination if fouettes are your thing. If you're a very versatile dancer, this would be a great opportunity to show all your different strengths. You've got huge artistry and storytelling. You can be very playful, cheeky, intimidating with your character. You've got gorgeous extensions, lots of turns, gorgeous port de bras, and then if fouettes are your strong point, that's the icing on the top. So those are the 10 variations I would recommend for dancers who like turning. I'm going to throw in a few extra that didn't make the cut. The reason why I didn't include them in the list is because I just felt like as variations they weren't characterized by their turns. They have turns in them, it's just I felt they were characterized by other things, whether that be by extensions or allegro or artistry and storytelling. I didn't feel like the turns are what makes the solo. So you might want to check out a few other piquetas. Piqueta number 1 has a lot of lame ducks and coupé jeté en tournant. I know strictly speaking those are jumps, not turns, but you know, you're turning in the air. Piqueta number 4, we've got pirouettes en dehors and some lame ducks. I would also recommend you look at talisman variation. Cupid, you've got some a diagonal of tombes en dedans and piqués en dehors. And finally, Princess Florine, you've got some chaînés and piqué turns. So those are the 10 variations I would recommend for dancers who like turning, plus a few extras. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you haven't already, check out my Ballet Coaches YouTube membership. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.